Okay, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Thank you for your patience. We were just waiting for a few more people to arrive. Probably we'll get a few more as the presentation goes along. But for everybody here, thank you for your patience, and I hope you enjoy our presentation of SolaRPG. SolaRPG is a game, a role-playing game based in a solarpunk world. It's going to be completely free to play and free to download later this month on the 25th. We are not here to sell you anything. We're just here to raise some awareness about the project that we've been involved in for the last year and a half, to explain a few things about solarpunk and role-playing games as a pedagogic tool. We will have some opportunity at the end to have some questions from you guys. So in the meantime, if you want to write in your questions into the chat, and then at the end, we'll try to answer as many as possible. It may only be 3 or 4, but we'll do as much as we can. So feel free to ask some questions in there. Oh yes, there have been a few people that have asked about getting a youth pass certificate for attending this presentation. We can't unfortunately issue a youth pass just for this, but we can certainly go through the process of designing a small certificate to recognize your involvement in this presentation. So if you contact us afterwards, that's not a problem at all. Okay, so I think we can make a little start. I hope you can all see things clearly. So we've got here the front page with the title, A Solarpunk Role-Playing Game to Fight Climate Doomerism Through Play. That's a big title, and I guess it needs unpacking a little bit. So maybe we can begin by unpacking the title.
Yes, let's try. It's a lot of information, but basically in all that title, this condensed the whole meaning of the project of SolaRPG and of the game that today we are presenting to you. So the first thing to say regarding this is that this project and this game was born from a problem that we detected. As well, first of all of us here are youth workers. We work with young people in the youth field with different topics, but this gives us the privilege, I would say, of being in contact constantly with young people, and allows us also to detect which are the different obstacles, the different problems, the different needs that young people have. In particular, since COVID, since the pandemic, we have seen a rise on problems related to the environmental crisis that we are living nowadays in the planet. Probably many of you that are on the other side of the screen have already heard terms like eco-anxiety, that basically are mental health problems caused by the current situation of the environmental crisis that we are living, and the effects that this have in our minds, in our psyches. On the other side also, we can see things like what is called climate doomerism. That is basically a position in which we accept that there is nothing to do in the planet. We lost the battle, let's say, and therefore I don't have to do anything myself. Why should I make efforts to change anything if anyway this is going to collapse in a few years? This is something that we have detected when making project youth exchanges, training courses. There is more and more young people who are doomerist, quite fatalist regarding the future, and it has also been corroborated, proved by different statistics, research that have been rising in the last years. This, of course, it's a problem. This means that there is a problem, but when there is a problem, us as youth workers, we try to, first of all, to see which need is arising from there and which kind of solutions can we come. So then we started deconstructing a little bit this problem, especially we were quite concerned. And when I say we, I speak about the team of Sola that we have been developing this idea. We were quite concerned about this fatalist approach that young people were having, no? This negativity. And we started to deconstruct this. We first, of course, came to some more clear causes that might be the empiric comproval of the situation in which the world is. We just look at the news, and there are reasons to feel worried and concerned, and it's normal that that has an effect on us and in young people. But we started digging a little bit more on which other causes might there be for this pessimistic vision of the future. In this sense, and I make a little bit of a spoiler, all of us here, we are a little bit nerd. We are nerdy. is the truth, and that has also led a little bit this process that we have gone through. And as nerdies, we started also reflecting a little bit in some of the genres that we consume when we watch movies, when we watch series, when we play video games. And there is one genre that had captivated many of us before, and that when we were in this process, we found interesting to try to understand why the situation was like that, which is cyberpunk. I guess.
So we're talking what, like Blade Runner, Matrix, concrete,
neon future, big machines, oppressive technology controlling the population, hierarchical societies. Basically, cyberpunk can be defined as a future of high technology but low quality of life. A future in which we basically were not able of overcoming the different challenges that we are facing today as a society, and we live in a dystopic world. And of course, this is science fiction, is narrative, but we started asking ourselves how much this can actually be influencing us to believe that such a future is the only solution that we have. It is the place where we are leading to. And while doing this research, and somehow also coming to the conclusion that indeed this science fiction content that we consume have a direct impact in our mind and in our mental processes, we started searching, thinking, okay, so if there is this narrative that is bringing these effects on the people, what can we tell to reverse this, to counterbalance this? And in that moment is when we found this beautiful concept and idea that we are today presenting to you, which is the solarpunk. So solarpunk is a political and literary and artistic movement that envisions a world for a world in which sustainability is met through embracing technology, advancing technology. Humanity lives in harmony with all the forms of life in a sustainable world. It's a future in which we have somehow overcame the problems that we are facing nowadays as a humanity. It's a future of high technology still, because it's not like primitivist, it doesn't reject technology, but also high life. It's a future in which all the living beings of this planet can live together harmoniously. It's an utopic future. And it's a genre that has what we can also say is somehow the other side of the coin of cyberpunk. It's opposite. It's a genre that appeared in 2008. It was the first time that it was named, and in the last decade has grown a lot in online spaces mainly. It's not so big. It's starting to grow. If you want to have some maybe visual reference for you to make an idea, the style, the one that is used normally to represent it is the Studio Ghibli style. Movies like Princess Mononoke, for example, like pastel colors, something like not too strong, and also a quite powerful nature and human living, embracing it. Or also there is another one that appeared in the last years, maybe some of you watch it, from the movie Black Panther from Marvel, the city of Wakanda.
Okay.
Yeah, so this futuristic city that is located actually in Africa, when there is an Afro population that is the one in power and is the most advanced city in the world, and is sustainable, and they have also really developed technology. And this is a really good example of how a solarpunk city could look like. And it's also really interesting because it also brings many other concepts that are inside the solarpunk movement, which is really wide and not defined, but concepts like direct democracy, assemblerism, multiculturality, and many other things that we invite you also to research and to discover, because when we found this, we thought that it had a lot of value to bring it to young people and to help also shaping a little bit that pessimistic vision of the world that they had. And that's exactly what we find interesting in solarpunk. So with this, we mean that we are not trying now to present as SolarPunk as if it's a dev solution for the problems that we have. We can go to the next slide. But for us, SolarPunk is really useful because it invites you to imagine, to be creative, gives a hopeful vision of the future, aligned with sustainability and social justice, but especially encourages creativity and imagination. We are concerned about the incapacity of some young people of imagining something different. With this, we don't think, and we don't mean that by just imagining we are going to reach that different future. But the first step towards reaching that future is being able of imagining something different. And that's what we found so useful with the SolarPunk. So now we had detected a problem, okay, climate doomerism, the pessimism regarding the future, and we found a message to convey to these people, an invitation to be imaginative. But then the question was, how do we transmit all of that? And that's where we pass to the next part.
Okay, so I suppose that leads us into the next question, which seems to be quite obvious, which is, okay, so how does this work in a game? And why a role-playing game specifically? So maybe we can now pass to learning a little bit about this.
Yeah, I would be more than happy to explain you how we are trying to convey those concepts, those ideas, and those resolution to the needs for young people. So basically, we decided, as we are all youth workers and we are all using non-formal education in our daily life, we thought, and we still think, and we will think probably also tomorrow, that non-formal education is the best way of learning. Because there is not only one way of learning. It's not only about reading a book and being tests, but there are so many different ways of learning. And a way of learning is RPG. It's role-playing games. It's short for role-playing games. And if you're not familiar with them, probably the most famous one is Dungeons and Dragons, but there are hundreds around. And they are a way of playing that they are collaborative, they are immersive. Basically, you sit together as a group of people and you write down a story. You tell a story together. And this is very powerful because it triggers imagination and it triggers also a lot of educational aspects. For example, it's impossible to play a role-playing games without cooperation. So if you don't cooperate with the other person playing, it's pointless and you are not going anywhere. So to tell a story together, you have really to work as a team, and you help each other writing the story. Okay. And this is something that educational wise, it helps people to work together and to find solution. That's exactly also something that it's very used in role-playing games is creativity and problem solving, because you really you find yourself, your characters find themselves in front of obstacles and you have to face them, you have to overcome them, and you do it together with some creative thinking and problem solving. And this is a key aspect of the game.
So it's collaborative rather than competitive.
Absolutely,
okay.
Absolutely. I mean, there is no way that you just lose, like in a board game where someone loses and another one wins. Here it's either you have fun all together all the way, and if you lose, you restart again altogether. It's not that there is not a real way to lose and be excluded, let's say.
Okay. So I imagine it creates a real dynamic between the players.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's also another thing that it's really important, is that you have to really feel and develop empathy while playing, because with other players, of course, because you have to cooperate, but you also have a character. You're playing a character that it's not you. So you have to put yourself in the shoes of this character. You have different qualities, probably. The character has different qualities from you. So you have to think as someone else and this helps people and young people especially. I mean, we talk ourselves as, I mean, I discovered role-playing games when I was 15, and it kind of changed the way I was perceiving games. And this was really, really useful and helpful. So we want to bring this to young people and as a tool for youth worker. And of course, we are not just saying this because we like role-playing games. It's there are studies about it, and there is a literature about the educational purposes of role-playing games. And it's also very useful for the people that are struggling with learning in the conventional way, you know, like people that cannot stay just put in a chair and read the book and then repeat what they read. There are a lot of way of learning, and we want to help people to discover them.
I think as well, that's a realization of the different ways that young people especially learn is really increasing a lot at the moment. So that's really interesting.
So we want to provide an extra tool for that.
Sure.
And passing on, so we decided also how we have to find who is going to to do this, and basically we are all part of organization from different countries, Germany, Italy, and Spain, and we met and we realized that we need a framework. We want to have a project about this. And we are familiar with Erasmus Plus, so we decided to go and ask for funds from the European Commission. If you don't know Erasmus Plus, very, very briefly, it's a program from the European Commission that supports organizations that are working with young people. So supports non-formal education activities, projects, and in this case, supported us to implement a project that had built the capacity of the organization itself, our capacities as youth workers, and then it will help us to spread the game and will help young people to imagine a better future and to get more conscious about environmental topics. So we start this cooperation. And then as we share objectives and also method of work, we sit together and say, let's do it. So we wrote this project and we presented it, and it got approved. This was already almost 2 years ago. To give you an idea of what the project looked like, this is a timeline of the project. So we started it after it got approved. We met all together in October 2023. So we have our kickoff meeting where it was amazing to brainstorm everything about SolaRPunk, about storytelling. We started from scratches, let's say, and that was the first opportunity to meet all together and start working together and planning ahead. So the first phase, then it was to research. We did research on role-playing games. We did research on SolaRPunk, on eco-anxiety. So we were trying to see what's out there already talking about those topics. And then we collect everything together, all the research results we collected together, and we start designing the game. So we decided some mechanics, and then we beta test them. We give each other feedback, and then going back to change some of the aspects. So this was an ongoing process of trial and error to build the game itself. And then there was the part of writing. So we wrote a story, a campaign, as some of the people that are more familiar with role-playing games were called, a campaign of 6 chapters, and to help people immerse themselves in the world of SolaRPunk. So if you are new to role-playing games, you can have an already written story that you can play with your friends. So you don't have to plan this part. We already had that figured out. And as soon as we finished writing the campaign, then we finalized the handbook, which is the one that you see here and there, and with a huge help of our creative director, graphic artist, Matteo, who is not here today. So we gave it also a visual identity to the game, and then maybe the launch will happen soon. I will leave this. You will get to know more about this in a bit. And now we are together for the final evaluation of the project and to disseminate this. So we want to share this game with the most number of people that we can, because we believe in it. And yesterday we played ourselves as well. So we like also to play it. So we are here to share that with you.
Okay, thank you very much. So, okay, a lot of information. We've learned about solarpunk. We've learned about RPGs and how that the connection of these topics kind of led us to be here with this presentation and this game for you. But a lot of information, so maybe we can just try to
summarize them. Of course, so exactly, what did we speak about so far? We spoke about what solarpunk is. We spoke about SolaRPG as a cooperative tabletop role-play game. And we started also to bring more details to what a solarpunk future will look like. We are going to explore more of that in a minute. And also, of course, very important, we mentioned that the game is designed with pedagogical and educational purposes, and it's mainly a tool for you to work. This doesn't mean also that it's not simply an entertaining and captivating game to play on its own without necessarily having the idea of educational purposes, but of course the main part is related to this. Very important to mention that the organizations that were involved are Dreaming Openly from Germany, Associación Bregal from Spain, and Associazione Cora from Italy. So these are the names of the organization. And of course, this is a EU-funded project through Erasmus+, which is also really important. You also have a bit of an overview about the goals that we have already spoken about. So to combat climate doomeries, teach sustainability and system thinking, and support soft skills development, mainly in young people. So now we had like a general introduction to a lot of interesting and important topics, let's say. Now let's try to go a bit deeper into what SolaRPG is in terms of game, like how do you play this game and how does this look? So a quick look at the mechanics, of course. As any other game, SolaRPG contains some rules, some mechanical elements that are a bit the engine that promotes the game moving forward system in a way. For this project, we created our own role-play game system, which is based on a D6, on a six-sided dice, which I'm sure everybody has at home. And also, of course, we researched, as Simone was saying, we researched and we took inspiration from other games to create our own. As it has already been mentioned, but important to remind, this is a cooperative game. It's meant to be a game that a group of people plays in a cooperative and supportive way. And of course, it focuses on collaboration and not combat. So we developed a non-violent conflict resolution mechanic, which goes towards the solution of conflict using more imagination, lateral thinking, communication rather than violence and combat mechanics. Also important, after the game, it's also involved like a reflection moment, a moment in which the participants, the people, the players that play the game can reflect on what they experience, because role-play game can be a really, really immersive experience to live, and it's also important at some point to reflect on what happens. This is the power of gamification, the power of living something as other people, but at the same time harvesting the learning experience as the real person that you are. In terms of mechanics, we wanted something that was somehow easy to understand, especially for beginners, because our target group are people from 14-year-old till infinity. And we wanted something that was suitable for young people. It's a game that if you are already a bit familiar with other roleplay game, you can learn in 5 minutes in terms of mechanical system, in terms of rules. And maybe if you have never played it, you can learn it in 10. So it's meant to be something easy and that start fast. So this is also important. Maybe you can pass to the next slide. These are our character. In the manual, you will find, of course, the rules, and then also you will find some characters. There is a mechanic for creating new characters from scratch, because of course we wanted to give the freedom to each player to narrate their own story, to explore their own concept, but also for simplicity and to make the starting at the beginning of the game easier. We developed 6 characters. The 5 of us and Matteo, so our artist and designer, together with us, developed the characters. We have Lucio, Omari, Clar, Sanya, Yari, and Sami. And each one of them represent a bit of a different archetype, a bit of a different story to tell, depending on the player that is playing it. And just to leave you with a bit of spice, let's say, like the introduction of the story that you will play following the manual, is that it's the graduation day of a group of friends that are in high school in Marai, which is the city inside the Solar universe that we created. And the characters think that they're just their last day of school, so they're just going to celebrate and have fun, but suddenly they get involved in something that is bigger than them, and they need to solve some mysteries and overcome some snags, aka the challenges that the game will put in front of them in order to to do something big, let's say.
So if I understood well, also for what you were saying before, like it's not like the players are learning, but it's not a lesson in which they have to take notes or something like this. No?
Absolutely. It's a game that is fun to play and entertaining to play, regardless of the learning experience. The learning experience come within the process of you role playing and impersonating somebody, and together with other players facing snags, facing challenges, and telling a cooperative and common stories in your collective imagination. And there the learning happens. It's not like reading a book or a school text and then memorizing. It's not at all.
That's why it's so important, this part that you were saying of the reflection, because this learning, it's a little bit spontaneous, and then you have to actually sit and say, okay, what did I learn actually?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why also it's very important the figure of the chronicler, which is in the context of a learning experience, it's the youth worker that is guiding and narrating a bit the story, and it's also the person that is responsible to guiding a bit more the learning or like the reflection part that comes during the experience of playing the game. So maybe we can pass to the next slide. Here you have a look at the character sheet, which is a bit the ID, the identity card that each character will have. Again, this is, for example, the one of the character we developed, but of course there is explanation in the manual on how you can create your own. Something important to mention is that the main aspect of the character sheet is represented by qualities, so by some specific characteristic that can be physical or behavior or skills or knowledge that each character has, and that plays a very important role and a very important part in the game, and are the one that, let's say, unlock the possibility to overcome the snags and to play the mechanical aspect of the game. So they have both the narrative aspect and also the mechanical aspect enclosed within it. That's it, I think.
It looks cool. Did you get it?
Yes, I think so. But I think probably the best way to try and understand is to try to play something. Is possible?
Of course, you want to play it right now? Right now?
Right now.
Okay. So let's imagine you're not Joseph anymore. Now you are Sanya, this sympathetic girl that our visitors can see now on the screen. It's a warm and sunny afternoon. You took your bike and you left your hometown for a nice bike ride. You went to the woods in the hills above the town of Marai. And after climbing for a while, a bit up the hills, now you reach the moment that you're going down a slope.
Okay.
And you're racing on a small path that is winding between the trees. And suddenly, out of nowhere, it seems, a root appears in front of you on the path. And what do you do?
Okay. So I'm already moving quickly.
You're quite fast. You're going downhill and the wind is blowing in your face.
Okay.
And
Is it possible for me to try to jump over the route?
absolutely, you can use your motion that you have, the speed, and try to jump over the route.
Okay.
I would say as you saw this route a bit like last minute, it seemed to appear out of nowhere. It's not so easy. So I would say snack difficulty, which is the difficulty of the challenge, 3, which means that out of the dice pool that you roll, 3 dice results need to be at least 4 or higher.
Okay. How do I know how many dice to roll?
You have your basic dice pool of 2 dices, and then
So I take 2.
And then you can add 1 more dice for each quality that helps you in the situation.
And the qualities are on the character sheet.
Exactly.
Okay. So Cosmocartographer. Maybe Primal Float Practitioner I could use.
Yes, I think you can use that. It means that you have a good sense of equilibrium, you have fast reflexes. Let's say that adds 1 more dice to your dice pool.
Okay, so I have 3.
So you have 3 dices in total, and you need 3 dice results higher than 4. 4 or higher.
4 or higher. Okay. Wish me luck. Okay. I have a 2 and a 4 and a 5.
Okay, not too bad. Not too bad.
So it's only 2 that succeed.
Yes. Let's say you don't manage completely to jump over the route.
Okay.
Your front wheel still hits the wood, and it twists a bit to the side. But you react fast because you still got 2 high rolls. You still react fast, and you manage to jump off your bike and roll yourself into the soft and earthy ground of the wood. You don't get hurt because it's a quite soft landing. You have your body well under control, and you roll a couple of meters down a slope.
Okay, so okay. So maybe the first thing I do is try to stand up and kind of check if I'm okay.
You're okay.
I'm okay.
You're okay. You can dust off a bit like the dirt of your clothes, but you didn't hurt yourself. Everything seems fine.
That's good. And what can I see at the bottom?
So you actually landed on a kind of platform on this slope where it slows down a bit.
Okay.
But then it continues going down, and you can see a bit like the valley of Marai. You see little roads. You see the houses. You can recognize the district where you know that you are living. You see all the solar panels on the roof. Some houses have attached some kind of windmill zeppelins that are
Okay.
producing electricity floating in the air. The sun reflects on the Komaru River that is passing the center of the town, and a bit further in the distance also you can see the community gardens where the locals produce their fruits and vegetables.
Okay.
And it's a beautiful afternoon, so
It sounds very beautiful. Okay, so I spend a moment just appreciating the view, I guess. And then I think, what about my bicycle? Maybe can I go and look for my bicycle? See what happened to my bicycle?
of course. So you turn around back to the slope, ready to climb it back up to find your bike. When suddenly a metallic shimmer, a metallic reflection hits your eye between the greenery.
Okay. Can I investigate?
Sure. You approach it.
Yes, yeah.
So you approach to that direction and you move a bit the leaves and the branches, and you find a small kind of half trap door, a bit integrated in the slope. It's closed.
Okay. Can and it's closed?
It's closed.
Can I hear anything or?
You can press your ear on the door and you hear a light summing, buzzing coming from inside. Not strong, but definitely there is something behind that door.
Oh.
And maybe that's where we leave it for today.
Cliffhanger.
Nice. Okay, so actually the dice rolls made a lot of sense. It was quite easy, and the world sounds super beautiful to be inside. Oh, thank you. Okay, so that's a little demonstration of how it feels and how it looks like to play a session of SolaRPG. I suppose the question on everybody's mind would be how can the public access this? We've already spoken briefly that it's going to be for free and it's accessible by everybody, but how is that going to work? Maybe you can tell us.
Yes, we already spoke about the publication date, which is the 25th of April, so in around 1 week. We will publish the digital manual online, available for free to download in English, Spanish, German, and Italian. You can find it on our website, solaruniverse.com. You can also follow us on Instagram, where we will link you to the website and to the other channels. Also, both on Instagram and YouTube, you can watch more video material where we explain more into depth the rules and the mechanics of the game. And also, really nice to mention our Discord community, where you can meet other players, you can meet us. We were happy to answer any questions, and of course, it's also like a digital space where to meet other players, where to imagine future storylines or objects that can be part of this world, and to continue the creative process together.
And share solarpunk stories, I suppose.
Speak about solarpunk, or just find people to play.
And of course, play. Yeah.
Just to find. So both the Discord, YouTube, and all, you find it also in our Instagram profile, that is solar.rpg. You can find everything there. And also in the Solar Universe website, all the links and everything is available. Also, you will find there not only the manuals, but all the downloadable resources that there are, including maps, character sheets, and other, well, everything that we have produced during these years. Also, researches about SolaRPang, well, everything that we have gathered, all the information is available there to be freely downloaded.
Yeah, I see someone before ask how I can get in contact with you, and actually in the website, if you go on the website, in the last part of the website, the bottom part, there is an email. So if anyone need more information, wants to know everything, wants to get involved, can easily write the email contact, and then we will be more than happy to reply and let you know more details.
Definitely. And you are being from the first people who are discovering this. As you can probably see, we are quite happy and excited about these results. But we want this to be an alive product, an alive thing. Therefore, our objective with this session and in general is that people uses it. So really feel free to contact us in any moment that you need. We are available to support you also if there are some things that you don't understand, or support on how to implement this with groups of young people or so. Any doubt that you might have, feel free to reach us, because we want this to be used. We believe on the potential of this tool. We would like to see you experiencing it.
And answering to user one, this session has been recorded and it will be in our YouTube channel. So it will be uploaded, so you can check again the slides and all the information that maybe you missed during our presentation.
Are we having presential sessions to play together? That's a really good question. It will depend a little bit on the place where you are, because we are trying to, as we said, we are an organization from Germany, Italy, and Spain. In Leipzig, indeed, we plan to organize, well, for the others. Right now, we are in Leipzig, in Germany, is where Dreaming Openly is based. And in Leipzig, there will be in-person sessions. We organized already one week ago, and there will be more. Also in Italy, if you are close to Perugia or in Umbria, you can also contact us, because it's where Asociación Ecora is based. While in Spain, in Galicia, in the northwest, in Pacific, in A Coruña, we are definitely going to organize in-person sessions. But also, for all of those who are not there, we are going to organize online sessions. We play online. It's a system that is also useful to, well, it can be used in online context. So that's why we created this Discord server for anyone who maybe doesn't have the chance of meeting people who are playing in person to join and start playing together.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fantastic. I guess then, if are we reading the questions as they're being sent at the moment?
I think that's we don't have enough other questions, I think.
For the moment, no. We can take a few moments more if someone else wants to ask something.
No, I think
We answer everything. Well, there is a new message now. Well,
Thank
thank you, Sidorella, and in general, thank you everyone who joined today.
Yes.
It's a special moment for us. We weren't really sure how much people will join or not. But seeing all of you here makes us feel satisfied. Hopefully, something of what we try to pass reached you. Hopefully, you play Sola.
And certainly as well, by being involved in this process with us, if this is your first time hearing about SolaRPunk, then it's a great time to become involved in the movement, because it's, even in the 2 years that we've been working on this topic, already the content that is available to learn about, and the ideological reality that we're trying to imagine with SolaRPunk as a movement is already grown so much. So if you found a lot of the content curious or interesting, or if you're really personally interested in yourself, in trying to obtain a little bit more optimism when it comes to the future, or if you find you're working with groups where that could also be useful, then now is a great time to learn more about solarpunk because it's a very powerful narrative genre as well.
And if this was necessary when we wrote this project, which was 2 years and something ago, nowadays is probably much more, and young people needs utopia, needs also narratives that can lead to hope. So we encourage you to spread them also. Yes, for the certificates, Radolin, and for anyone that might need to get a certificate for your participation of today, you can write us to info@solaruniverse.com. It's also the email address from which you received the invitation, the link. You write us there, you say your name, and we are going to generate the certificate and send it probably beginning of next week. Okay, I think that's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you for all of us,
Yeah.
guys.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for being here, and hopefully we can play Solar together in the future.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Happy weekend.
Have a nice weekend, nice Easter.
Bye-bye.